Good evening. This is Mornings with Michael for information and educational purposes only. We're going to get to the S&P 500 map. Share the screen here. We had a follow-through day on the indexes, so we'll take a look at that a little later after the news. But today, most of the tech was up. Meta was down almost at 1%. Tesla looked like it may have broken out, but it pulled back slightly today. Most of energy was up, utilities were down, financials kind of a mixed bag, healthcare mixed bag as well. So that's a look at the S&P 500 map. So let's go to the news. We got Japanese Prime Minister said government plans to introduce new subsidies next month to bring down the record gasoline prices that have added to the stubbornly high inflation. UK home sales are on course to fall 21% to the lowest level seen since 2012 due to higher interest rates. On to our company news, PVH Corp, PVH ticker symbol Q2 adjusted EPS $1.98 versus estimate $1.76. Hyundai Motor Group said it would acquire a 5% stake in Korea Zinc for 527.2 billion won. Hyundai Toyota Motor has resumed production of Toyota and Lexus vehicles at 12 of its 14 plants in Japan following a system malfunction which prevented the ordering of parts. In July, the EU car market continued its growth trajectory, expanding by 15.2%, the 12th consecutive month of growth. Energy, industrials, and materials, America Woodmark, AMWD, quarter one adjusted EPS $2.78 versus $2.30. Cleveland Cliffs, CLF, ticker symbol, announced that it has reached a tentative agreement with the United Steelworkers, USW, on a new 3-year labor agreement. US Steel, ticker symbol X, has entered into confidentiality agreements with numerous third parties and started to review multiple unsolicited proposals ranging from partial acquisition to entire buyout, the company said. AAR Corporation, AIR, has signed 2 multi-year commercial agreements with Moog, MOG.A, strategic relationship that allows potential future expansion of the scope of services provided. American Petroleum Institute weekly inventory showed crude drawdown of 11.5 million barrels. Healthcare, Fibrogen, FGEN, announces top-line results of phase 3 clinical study in ambulatory Duchenne muscular dystrophy, DMD, saying the study did not meet the primary endpoint. Emergent Biosolutions, EBS, said Narcan nasal spray that's an antidote for opioid overdose will be available without a prescription starting in September. Johnson & Johnson, J&J, announces updated financials in 2023 guidance following completion of Kenvue KVUE separation, expects 2023 adjusted reported earnings per share of $10. Outlook Therapeutic stock, OTLK, tumbled 71%. Oh my goodness. After saying the FDA has issued a control response letter, CRL, for the company's biologics license application for treatment of wet age-related macular degeneration. Technology, media, and telecom, Ambarella, AMBA, shares fall 13% on guidance. Quarter two adjusted EPS negative 15 cents versus negative 21 cents. Box, ticker symbol BOX, Quarter two adjusted EPS 36 cents versus 35 cents. Hewlett Packard HPE, ticker symbol. Quarter three adjusted EPS 49 cents versus 47 cents. And I was bad there. I wasn't showing the ticker symbols. Sorry about that, guys. We'll take a look at Ambarella quickly here. Their shares were falling. Yeah, they fell 20% after 13% overnight. And we can take a look at Box as well. Box falling a little over 12%. J&J, they have already fallen, so they're trying to build a bottom here. Hewlett Packard HPQ, quarter three adjusted EPS, 86 cents versus 85 cents. They're gapping down as well, 6.63%, and Hewlett Packard Enterprises is actually bouncing up. Their adjusted EPS 49 cents versus estimate 47 cents. Encino, a recent IPO in 2020. Looks like they're breaking out. Earnings came in at 325% increase, a 32% surprise. And finally, Global Star, GSAT, rises as the company named former CEO and executive chairman of Qualcomm, Paul Jacobs, as a new CEO. So there you have it in our news for today. And let's take a look at the dollar. Dollar is falling. So that must be gold and silver are performing well. Gold is, looks like it gapped up slightly, up 0.25%. Looks like a little cup pattern here. We'll see if it forms a handle. Pretty good volume, all in all. Silver is pulling back a little bit. Kind of low volume on the pullback, so it had jumped quite a bit, so it's not surprising that people have taken their profits. Take a look at copper. Continues the right side of a base here. Copper is used a lot in EV battery production. Southern Copper is working on the right side of its space here. We'll see if it can pop back into the blue area. And FCX, Freeport McMoran, is doing about the same. Still down in the red area below its 50-day moving average. So we'll see if it can get above there. See what our bond yields are doing. They're dropping, which is helping the indexes break out. We've got a pullback on the 20-year as well. And let's see what VIX is doing. Should be pulling back. Now look right over here. We said there's a 100% chance we'd fill this gap, and that's what we did today. We filled that gap. All gaps fill on the VIX. Take a look at the S&P 500. We got a big move yesterday. Got some pretty good volume. So this is a breakout. Whether the correction is completely over is another question, but this is a breakout one. We typically want to buy something on a breakout. Take a look at the NASDAQ. Similar action, pretty good volume above average. Breakout over here. Small caps. Got some pretty low volume here. I wouldn't consider this a breakout in small caps, and the Dow Jones. Pretty substandard volume there as well. We were talking about Tesla earlier. You just draw the line. You can see it's popped back above there. It tried to go above its 50-day moving average. We had a slight pullback. And it's continued slightly down today. And a couple of more of the big seven. Apple got some pretty good volume today. They're breaking above the 50-day moving average. Google got huge volume yesterday. Definitely broke out of this little shallow pattern here. We got a base on base. This is the first base, and then this is a base on base. Breakout there. We got Amazon. Doesn't get the same treatment. Meta. No. So Mr. Softy still below its 50-day moving average. So Apple, Google are strong, and Tesla, those three, and NVIDIA had a strong move yesterday. Continue that move today. We'll just see if can continue this breakout. So it's obviously above this pattern. Scott Sinclair said the previous breakout attempt was a breakout of a nothing. See how many weeks this base was. It's a pretty tight area. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This is the 8th week. Typically, you want to see 6 to 8 weeks. So that could be look positive. We'll look at a couple of issues that we had been profiling earlier. Kava had its IPO base and then sold off. So it's wise to take your profits. And looks like it's trying to build the first base in the institutional phase. It's got a little bit of a ways to go to build the right side of the base, but we'll keep checking back into it. BLTE. People taking their profits from the run up. When we first profiled this, it ran up about 50%. So it's not surprising. People are taking their profits, but after it sold off, it bounced off of the 10-day moving average, which is a positive. So we'll continue to watch that. The other issue that resolved itself, but resolved itself in a negative way from its tight area, did pop after hours a little bit. We'll just see if that can continue up or if it's going to continue the trend on a downward fashion. Tidewater, it looks like it's trying to got a lot of support over here. Volume was kind of lacking, but it was better than what we've seen in this oil space. Wellhead looks like it's breaking out here. Still needs to get a little bit more volume. And let's take a look where professional money managers were moving their money today. And then we'll look at some trending ETFs. A couple of days in a row, Goosehead Software. This was another IPO in 2020. Gapped up over here. Huge volume, a lot of buying going on, and it moved up again over here. And we talked about this in company news. Encino, look at this volume, huge volume. 2020 IPO, provides cloud-based software solutions to banks and financial institutions. They're looking for 31% growth in 2025. And look at this growth over here, 9 cents versus a negative 4 cents the prior quarter. Found some PDD, Pinduoduo. I believe it's Timur, is this online shopping that you'll see often. Gapped up 28% earnings increase, 77% earnings surprise, and has continued more buying today. DLO out of Uruguay provides cloud-based payment platform, 40 different countries. Earnings came in at 50%, gapped up, and there's continued buying in this area. It had kind of a little quiet period where it had a little bit of a retraction, but this is what you want to see when you have a sell-off, low volume, and now the volume's picking up again. Also in China, we've got our brokerage company, Futu Holdings. See if 78% earnings increase. See if it can break out of this consolidation, this cup formation. It's got a relative strength, beating 94% of all companies on the indexes. Salesforce, pretty big volume here on their earnings. We'll see tomorrow what their earnings came in at, but look at this big jump after hours. Up $12 or 5.6%. Sometimes the day of earnings, you can tell if there's going to be a good earnings call when if the stock is up because you've got some whisper or rumors spread about what the earnings is actually going to be. A&I Pharmaceuticals continue strong buying. Look at this 885% earnings increase, $1.28 versus 13 cents. 64% earnings surprise. Ensign Group operates a number of nursing and assisted living facilities across the country. Look at this huge volume. Big move today. A lot of buying from financial managers. And AGCO manufactures tractors. Huge volume over here. We'll see if it can get above the moving averages. Let's see which didn't have so good news today. We looked at Ambarella before. We looked at Box. VinFast Auto continues to sell off after the big move here. Move from $10 to 93. And if you didn't sell already, you might consider selling at least some. We looked at Hewlett Packard, was down big. Chinese shipper down about 2%. Sigma Lithium continues to sell off. Canadian lithium mining company. Finally, PDCO. Look at that gap down 8%. And that's a look at the money moving and moving out of. Take a look at some of our trending ETFs. There was an interesting one that I found today that they believe can get 11% return on a bond. It's a global S&P 500 covered call ETF. So they own the shares of stock and they're selling covered calls. So they produce about 11% yield. Let's go over here, open that window. 11.1% yield on stocks that they already own. They're selling covered calls to earn more income. So let's take a look at that one. Look at the financials. Got a little bit of movement there. Energy gapping up 0.5%. Oil prices moving, the trend keeps going up. Infrastructure development. Here is one of the stocks that is doing well in infrastructure. Had some pretty good volume earlier today. Take a look at the semiconductors. After they sold off over here, now they're getting above their moving averages again, which is a good sign. Got pretty good volume yesterday on the breakout of our correction. Software is bounced yesterday and continues to move today. Technology as well, getting above its 50-day moving average. Metals and mining, after a big move yesterday, slight pullback today. Home builders, which have been leading the market, bouncing with the interest rate on bonds pulling back. Look at that huge move yesterday. A lot of buying. Continues again today. And building supplies getting above all of its moving averages again. Pretty good volume yesterday, dropped off today. And that's a look of some of, I guess we didn't look at XLC or communications with Google. It's trending pretty well. And Excel just keeps on moving. We'll see if it can get a pullback. Right now, it's a little bit extended. This is a company in Alameda, Penumbra, another company in Alameda, working on a base. We'll see if it can get above some of these moving averages and get some volume behind it. Another one we had profiled in iron disc medicine. It looks like it's got some pretty good support here. Volume wasn't as strong as we'd like it, but we go, and let's just take a look at this. This looks like an ascending base. Pretty strong move. See if it can continue up here. It's made a pretty big move already. It's gone from right around $12 to 60. Fastly, I decided to buy this on last Thursday, and it's starting to work out. So we'll continue to look at that. And this is consolidated water. It tried to move higher and pull back here. Maybe it's just settling in. Tried to build the shelf here. We'll continue to watch that one. Splunk, which came in with powerful earnings, just continues to step up the ladder every day. Look at this volume, huge volume. It's kind of dropping off, but it's still pretty strong, keeps moving up. Data, got a lot of blue bars over here. See if it can continue to break out. And finally, we'll take a look at a firm. It looks like a firm just broke out of its consolidation today as well. We want it to be 10 cents above previous high. It was 1974, so that would be 1984. And it has jumped out. So that's our review for today. This is kind of an odd shaped cup pattern, but it could be listed as a base on base. So I hope your Taco Tuesday yesterday went well, and your Wednesday went well. Continue to work on your goals and your activities. And if you need any help with your financial goals, we're always here to support and continue providing good education and information for you. This is Born Mornings with Michael for information and educational purposes only. Have a great evening.